Maharaja Ranjit Singh, one of the greatest emperors of the Sikh Empire. Who was Ranjit Singh? Popularly known as the Lion of Punjab, Ranjit Singh was not only the greatest man of his time in India, but was also among the few leading figures of the history of that period. His reign was marked by benevolent rule, all-round development, secular values, and patriotic fervor. Ranjit Singh was much ahead of his time in almost every sphere of army organization, civil administration, foreign policy, and above all, the treatment of his subjects belonging to diverse faiths and cultures. Rising from the position of head of one of the 12 confederacies in Punjab, he became the first Indian ruler who stemmed the tide of continuous invasions from the northwest and succeeded in carrying his flag into the homeland of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali, the Afghan invaders and plunderers of the affluent
Mohammed Singh, Ranjit Singh's dad, died in a siege by the Bhangi Singhs on one of his forts. So after his death, Raj Kaur, who was Ranjit Singh's mother, became his natural guardian. Ranjit Singh was too young to handle the matters of the estate, so Raj Kaur and her friend, named Dewan Lakbat Rai, decided to take the estate in their own hands. But Sadda Kaur, who was the mother-in-law of Ranjit Singh, didn't trust these two people because they had previous crimes of corruption. So Sadda Kaur teamed up with another man named Dal Singh, and they created two fighting groups. However, Ranjit Singh didn't want anything to do with this, so he spent most of his time training outside by hunting and doing other army pursuits, and he joined the army, not as a leader, but just as a common soldier. Ranjit Singh was the only child of Maharaja Singh, on whose death in 1792 he became the chief of the Shukarchakias, a Sikh group. His inheritance included Gurjanwala town and surrounding villages, now in Pakistan. At 15, he married the daughter of a chieftain of the Kanhayas, and for many years his affairs were directed by his ambitious mother-in-law, widow known as Sadda Kaur. A second marriage to a girl of the Nakias made Ranjit Singh preeminent among the clans of the Sikh Confederacy.
Ranjit Singh's earliest invasions as a young baron were affected by the defeating of other heads of the other Sikh vassals. By the end of his reign, however, he'd conquered vast tracts of territory strategically set side by side between the limits of British India to the east and the Durrani Empire to the west. On July 7, 1799, Ranjit Singh became master of Lahore. He then rapidly annexed the rest of the Punjab, the land of 5 rivers. Having accomplished this, he extended his empire further north and west to include the Kashmir Mountains and other Himalayan kingdoms, such as the Sindhsagar Doab, the Potawar Plateau, and trans-Hindu regions right up to the foothills of the Sulayman Mountains. In 1802, Ranjit Singh took Amritsar by the Bhangi Sardari and followed this in 1807. After a month of fierce fighting, with the conquest of Kasar from the Afghan chief Quat Duan, with the capture of Multan in 1818, the whole Bari Doab came under his sway, and in 1819, Ranjit Singh successfully annexed Kashmir. This was followed by subduing the Kashmir Mountains, west of the river Jhelum.
In 1799, a process of unification was started by Ranjit Singh to establish an empire. The occupation of Lahore from Bhangi Misl in the summer of 1799 marked a turning point in his career. With the conquest of Lahore, Ranjit Singh was finally launched on a career of systematic aggrandizement, which made him master of a vast empire in less than a quarter of a century. Ranjit Singh was named on April 12, 1801 as the Maharaja of Punjab. He was 20 years old at the time. Sahib Singh Bedi, a descendant of Guru Nanak, conducted the installation. He reduced many neighboring states to tributary status and gradually established his control over all the Sikh misls west of the Satluj. He spent the following years fighting the Durrani rulers of Afghanistan after driving them out of Punjab. Ranjit Singh and his Sikh army then invaded ethnic Pashtun territories in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. He captured Multan, which encompasses the southern parts of Punjab, Peshawar, Jammu, and Kashmir.
His rule was very secular, and it was the first time, actually it was a long time in history that there was a rule which wasn't religious based or any particular community based. It was more of a, like in Punjab, it was more like a regular Punjabi rule, and it didn't matter whether you happened to be a Sikh or Muslim or Hindu, it wouldn't matter. The person who manned all of the artillery and who was in charge of his armaments, he was a Muslim guy. So absolutely no discrimination. And his foreign minister was Azizuddin, again a Muslim guy, and he manned all of the external affairs. His prime minister was a Hindu. In his army, he had generals who were French, they were Italian, right? Yeah, so basically it's like two things. It's like I given examples before, his rule was very secular. Not only Maharaja Ranjit Singh, was a great secular emperor, but the people really prospered in his empire. And actually the arts, the literature, the education. I mean, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, just to take one example, right? Even though he himself was illiterate, he wanted that every citizen should have the basics of education. So basically, if you look at it from that perspective, that's what his rule was. It was just too bad that while he left the legacy, of a secular emperor and a very peaceful rule, but the empire actually just, fell apart because of the infighting and the machinations by the British. Well, he was at the line of Punjab because when he was growing up, getting them all together. And he was fearless. I mean, if he had to go and fight, even as a teenager, he led wars. He won Lion of Punjab. I mean, he was known as a Sher Punjab. We literally mean the Lion of Punjab. And the other thing you guys have to remember is until the Sikh Empire came under Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and then thanks to Hari Singh Nalwa, right? I mean, he's the only general in the history who has ever defeated the Afghans. So before the Sikh Empire came out in northern India, before that, for I would say like 1,000+ years, India was just plundered and invaded year after year after year for almost 1,000 years. And every invader came through Afghanistan through the Khyber route. And it was the Sikhs who totally put a stop to it. And actually the Sikh Empire went right into Afghanistan. They had Peshawar, they won Multan, they made the forts right at the borderline of Afghanistan. And basically in history after that, since then, no invader came to India, from the typical invading route to India. It was the British who came by the sea after that. But Sikhs put a stop to all the future invaders. I would say the legacy is that people now appreciate and still now they wish for that they could have a ruler like that. Whether it's in India or even in Pakistan, because that was the only time that we actually had a Punjabi speaking, a Punjabi secular leader who did, what was best for the whole Punjabi population. And since then, it has fell apart because in India, Punjab has been subdivided, 3 times, and in Pakistan, they have lost the same power. So if there's anything, people would, wish that one to come back, that person who, stood for the Punjabi people.
Maharaja Ranjit Singh was one of the only leaders in Punjab that created an empire with secularity and fairity. No matter what religion you were, what race you were still treated equally, as shown in his army, as one of his generals was French.
He helped the citizens of Punjab, and he led his armies into a great battle to expand Punjab and set up a great legacy for himself.
His legacy still lasts today in modern India, showing how important Maharaja Ranjit Singh was to Punjab's history.